I took a year off performing and it changed everything, fam. And I wanted to spend this video talking a little bit more about how it affected me and also what it's been like coming back into the performance space. Hey guys, so originally this video was going to be one long video where I speak about why I stopped performing and the reasons, and then I was going to go into kind of a vlog about my latest performance. So one of the first times I came back to performing since taking my break, but the video was too long. So in this one we're going to do it in two parts. The first part will just be talking about why I stopped and what that meant for my career, in case you've ever wondered what it's like stopping something that seems to be going well in favor of doing something else. This part of the video will kind of talk to you a little bit about that, and then you can check out part 2 afterwards, which should release, if it's not out right now, it should release in a few days, and it's just about what my experience was like after coming back after a long time. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, let me know in the comments how it is for you, and if you've had any thoughts about doing something similar. Firstly, I guess it's important to know, like, why did I stop performing? So I performed every other week for the entirety of 2022. So that means I probably performed about 30 gigs. There's 52 weeks in a year, and 30 of those weeks I know I performed. So every other week and a little bit more. Why would he stop? Why would you throw all of that aside? I was making money. These were paid gig opportunities. I had a live band, the Working Class Band. Check them out if you want. I've got one project with them out, which is called Strasbourg and Home Complete Edition. So I've got music with them. We're getting money, we're getting paid, and it's live music, not just any typical DJ PA thing. And then also I was able to see and connect with loads of different venues and people that make events. So I was really on the roads at that time. Let's get my glasses on and let's have a conversation about it. Okay, so the first reason why I stopped performing for a year after performing so much in a year is because it wasn't sustainable. It just wasn't seeming sustainable to keep it up, honestly. I loved it to pieces. I enjoyed it, especially getting to see all these different buildings and venues and, just going out there and meeting new people. But actually, in terms of the sustainability of it, and in terms of like what my work rate was looking like, I noticed that while my performance may have been improving, other aspects of my career and life were just, going a bit more down than I'd like. And I'm very much a believer in, I guess you could say, creating the waviest life possible. Check out my second channel. It's called T's Wavy Life, where I try to basically cultivate a career and lifestyle which I can kind of be at my most optimal level of enjoyment in this life. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's aspects of my music career that I really enjoy or really want to enjoy, but having music performances so much was kind of taken away from that. I mean, think about it like this. A show could be about 4 hours of your day, right? So that's like the whole evening, 6 o'clock to 10. After that is basically bedtime, including travel time. I might get home at 12, 11 p.m. depending on the venue, maybe even 1. I remember sometimes going home at them times. So I'm dedicating the whole end of the day to this show. So that's the first part. The second part is I'm also dedicating rehearsal time. So me and the band, because this was live music, right? So me and my band would have to link up and rehearse quite frequently, especially depending on the music. We'd have to learn new songs. It would mean spending a lot of my time kind of memorizing lyrics, and for them too having to memorize stuff, as well as just, I guess, general maintenance. I'm also the leader of my band. They're called the Working Class Band. And yeah, with the Working Class Band, there were about 10 of them at that time in 2022 and 2023. And so you can imagine all these different characters, all these different lifestyles. Depending on the day, there will be different difficulties that I would have to help them, overcome for the sake of, my career and the band's development. So with all of those things in mind, it kind of took me away from other parts of music that I, really care about. And that, I think the most significant one would have been simply making the music. I spent so many hours, you know, spending time with music that I already knew and had already created. And keep in mind, some of these songs were songs I had made in 2018, 2019. And so as I'm performing these songs so consistently, it was almost like my attachment to those songs was becoming a bit more resentful, because suddenly my most popular songs don't even represent me today, the person performing them now. And it almost felt like, yeah, I was just serving people rather than also serving myself. Because I think a performance should be kind of both. When you're a music artist, it should be for the music artist to, enjoy themselves and have a good time with their music, so that the fans can also be served by watching the artist enjoy themselves. I kind of see that as kind of the relationship between the performer and the audience. It's like the music artist is loving it, the audience is loving it. The audience wants to see them perform, but they also want to see them perform their best and at their happiest, you know? And I was kind of losing that kind of happiest element. I'd kind of go home, maybe chatting to my bassist Chevelle on the phone, be like, yo, man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired of performing this song or this song. You know what I'm saying? If you want to know what song I'm talking about, let me know in the comments and maybe I'll reveal it at some point. But yeah, that was the first reason. Let's move on to the next one. So I kind of said this already, but the constant late shifts was a mazzolino. Like, it was a lot. And so that was actually my second reason. But I kind of already mentioned that in the first point. You can kind of understand why. It was just taking me away from, that side. But I think also the late shifts also kind of meant that it was kind of taking me away from sleep. I think I'm a morning person when it comes to work, and being a musician does not accommodate morning people at all, because when you got performances, like, you can't really just, have that full 7 hours, 8 hours sleep. It's not really realistic to be able to have that. So performing so frequently and also having rehearsals as well that were also in the evening, it definitely took me away from a time where I was most productive, and that was when I could actually sleep. So yeah, it's kind of strange. The better you do and the more well you do at music performance, the the more your sleep can get deprived, especially if you're independent and you got a full other job. It's not like I was just waking up to nothingness. I had to get to work. You know what I'm saying? So let's move on to number three, and I've got it here. I basically said I wanted to restructure my career and lifestyle to cultivate a stronger faith in God, and I was able to try and find newer ways of making money and a better home life instead of chasing opportunities that weren't needing chasing. So, wow. Yes, with this point, I basically kind of set out to kind of restructure the way I wanted to conduct my music career, right? Because I kind of think that there's like a standard way that upcoming music artists are kind of taught to strive when it comes to their music careers. I think they're taught to do many things, to be honest. Grind it out to get on, big playlists. What else? Make sure that you show up to all of the biggest shows and try to work with the biggest artists. What else is there? There's so many things, to be honest. I think artists are kind of told how to be music artists, but I kind of realized, especially in my job working in, an NPO, a music charity in London, quite a national one as well, you know, I kind of learned that our music careers are whatever we want it to be. Music artistry is a superpower because we actually have the luxury of being able to make money because of our personalities. And so we don't necessarily need to do what everyone else is doing. In fact, if you ask anyone in the world, if you're watching this as a music fan, your favorite artist is probably your favorite because they're different and not because they just do the same thing. But when you're an indie artist, you're almost told to do the same thing as everyone else and compete for the same thing. But I thought, you know what? I need to change that for myself and create what I believe is the wavy life. If you don't know what that is, you can check out my second channel. It's called T's Wavy Life. And I basically just do a whole bunch of side quests and talk about my life in a different way. Just like, I just talk about whatever I like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it is a side channel, but so you don't have to check it out if you're not interested in those things. But it basically is me saying, I want to live a life that I just think is cool. And if someone was to ask me what I do for a living, they'll know that it's very unique and authentic to me, right? And so, when I started performing, I started growing in my performance, skills. It was because I wanted to set myself out, set apart from other people. I got a live band, and that really set me up for being unique and different. That's probably the reason why I got so many bookings, because people, especially rappers, we don't perform with live bands often. We just get the DJ and a couple backing tracks. So to have a band and have that musicality, it really kind of makes me stand out as an artist. And I noticed, to be honest, now a lot of my peers have a live band, probably because they saw me with it. So yeah, I think going from that and doing it for so long, especially after having a whole run of doing loads of performances, I kind of started reflecting a bit more about what I'm doing. And I thought to myself, cool, I've got the band, they're there, so I can always stand out. And I've also got loads of videos of me performing in that situation now, so I can definitely leverage that for the future. But on top of that, I think that there were other things that I wanted. I mean, I love gaming, I love technology, I love anime, manga, I love kind of fashion. I love my own fashion. I love dressing up and looking interesting. I like a lot of different things. I also like helping people as well. Like I said, my second job is I'm a program producer, so I help young people develop in music, and I give advice and I create events and I give out funding. So I do all of these different things, and I thought, it would be nice if I could refocus my career and balance it out a bit, balance out where the money is coming from, instead of just doing performance, because there could be a time like COVID where I can't perform anymore. Instead of just doing performance constantly, let me restructure, refresh and find other opportunities in the music world. And this year I've done a lot. I've had brand partnerships, I've done voiceover work, I'm working in education with the University of Southampton. I'm doing a lot of different things. I've done talks with Google and at YouTube's office about AI and music. I've been on the news, Sky News. There's a lot that's happened in my career, probably because I, refocused my attention in these different places. So those hours that I could have been performing or rehearsing, I moved them on to other things. And those are the reasons why I made this kind of leap. I think, oh yeah, the other significant thing that I didn't mention was that, yeah, also, even for my normal life outside of career, I was able to, redistribute my time towards even developing myself as a human being. I spent that time learning a bit more about the Bible. I took a Bible class, had a mentor, I had support in that kind of section of life. And that was like very helpful and game changing for me personally, because you can just spend so much time in normal life stuff, especially if you're maybe a Christian person, right? You can spend so much time just assuming you're good. You know what I'm saying? Assuming you know the Bible, assuming you don't need to know anything, and just kind of going to church and going home and not really like understanding anything. You just like look for, the best pieces of the day. What bit in the Bible was the most interested, and I was kind of tired of that. It kind of felt like I was leading my life kind of aimlessly. So if I'd pray, I wasn't really praying for anything significant other than things that I cared about. But it's like, what does God care about? What does the Bible say that I should be caring about? What's his perspective on this topic, that topic, that topic? So to be able to study it, it really helped me, have that understanding of what is important in life in terms of my faith. Do you know what I'm saying? So I got to redistribute the time away from performing, even to that as well. So that's another point. Cool. Let's go on to the next part of the video.